Hello, one and all. Welcome to episode 85 of SoulsBorne Battle to Death. We're going to pick two random SoulsBorne bosses, and then they will participate in a Thanksgiving dance party. And then our field of judges will judge the best dancer, and they will be the winner. I think last year I had them become Thanksgiving floats, or made them, floats in the Thanksgiving Day parade. So I don't want to copy the same thing, so I came up with something different this time. So just something for my own amusement at this point. So I don't know if you can hear it, but my dog is going completely insane upstairs. I think Aiden is torturing her in a fun way, of course, just playing with her. But oh yeah, she's definitely going nuts. Anyway, the battlefield has been cleared. It can house any and all SoulsBorne bosses, and it has housed all of them at least once in a SoulsBorne Battle Royal. So there are pretty close to 100 SoulsBorne bosses in this little generator that I've created, and some special spots that can create some interesting scenarios. So we are going to stop this wheel, and we are going to see who the first participant is going to be on this episode 85 of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. Lich Dragon Fortisax. Whoa, Nelly. This is a heavyweight fighter if I've ever seen one in SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. Fortisax is certainly no joke. No joke whatsoever. A lot of the dragons in Elden Ring are no joke, particularly the bigger dragon. I was gonna say the ancient dragons, but I don't know that Lich Dragon Fortisax is an ancient dragon. Probably is, but Lich Dragon Fortisax and Placidusax and just some tough fights, but fun fights, I think. I think they're fun fights, but very, very difficult fights. So landing on Lich Dragon Fortisax here does not make me unhappy. I will tell you that much. So this is shaping up to be quite a confrontation here on SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. So we're gonna take this wheel for another spin. We're not going to waste any more time. We're going to spin this wheel, and we are going to decide the opponent for Lich Dragon Fortisax in this dance party that I've created. So we're going to see Fortisax do some dancing here very shortly. If I were any good at computer graphics, I'd try to make that happen, but unfortunately I am not. So we're going to have to imagine that in our own minds. For what that's worth. Probably better than me dancing, to be honest with you. I have no talent in that field whatsoever. So, good Lord, what is happening up there? All right, on one end of the field, we have Lich Dragon Fortisax, and on the other end of the field, we have the Death Bird from the same game, Elden Ring. All right, I must put on my poker face. I must not reveal at this juncture who I think would win. So we are going to go to the contractually obligated bios. So let's have a look at Lich Dragon Fortisax. During the Age of the Ur Tree, a war was waged between the ancient dragons and the forces of Lindell. And Lich Dragon Fortisax was challenged by Godwyn the Golden. Godwyn fought to his last, and in the end, Godwyn was victorious. But instead of the two becoming bitter enemies, Godwyn and Fortisax became great friends, and their bond gave rise to the ancient dragon cult of the royal capital. And through this unique bond, Godwyn gained the ability to wield golden lightning, and the dragons gained acceptance into the Golden Order. On the infamous Night of the Black Knives, Godwyn the Golden, as Gideon says, was first to perish. But Godwyn would only die in soul alone, and for whatever reason, his body was condemned to undeath, and it mutated beyond recognition. Why he was punished in this way, I don't think is ever explained, and it's pretty gruesome, I have to say. Fortisax fought long and hard against the death of his friend, and in doing so, he became corrupted by death. When you obtain the curse mark of death and you enter the deathbed dream via Fia, who is another one of Godwin's companions, you yourself get to battle Lich Dragon Fortisax. And you better pack a lunch, because it is not an easy fight. And Fortisax is a renowned ancient dragon for a reason. He does wield his twin lightning bolts. He does wield them with... I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but he does wield them with deadly... He wields them very well. Let's just put them that way. Put it that way. Fortisax is absolutely no joke, and you do not go into a fight with Fortisax thinking you're gonna come out unscathed, because you absolutely will not. Especially because his lightning attacks do tend to have an area of effect that if you dodge the first attack, the aftermath can certainly catch you. He can also summon a storm of gold and black lightning bolts, which inflict death blight, which is no fun, let me tell you. It's akin to curse in like Dark Souls 3. It's that kind of thing. He has many weapons in his arsenal, and it is not a fun night to deal with Lich Dragon Fortisax. After his health has been reduced to 60%, he also gains the ability to wield 2 lightning spears at once, as if he needs that, and the ability to dive bomb, followed by a spinning attack, which, again, he does not need such things, but, this is a FromSoft game, so, let's just add the unnecessary to make our lives even more miserable. I often confuse Lich Dragon Fortisax with Dragonlord Placidusax, and I don't know why, I just do, but I guess I can see why. They're similar dragons, even if they have different types of attacks, and they fight pretty differently. But Lich Dragon Fortisax is he's no fun, and he's no joke, and the area you fight him in, if I recall, isn't very big either. So you're dealing with a rather small area for fighting a dragon, and he has area of effect attacks that are pretty wide, and he can inflict death blight, and his lightning attacks are stronger than normal lightning attacks because they're golden lightning, and everything that could possibly make a dragon fight even harder than it has to be is present with Fortisax. So yeah, all I really have to say about fighting him is yeah, if there was a therapist for specifically for FromSoft games, you would need him after this fight, or need them after this fight, because it can be crushing to your psyche, that's for sure. But Lich Dragon Fortisax showing up in SoulsBorne Battles of Death is always a welcome sight, and there are plenty of welcome opponents that I think could give Fortisax a run for his money, but I think not too many, though. Not too many, because Fortisax is definitely in a class by himself, and he is definitely in a higher plane as he deserves to be. So I guess we'll just have to see what the future brings for Lich Dragon Fortisax. Not a ton of lore surrounding the Deathrite birds in Elden Ring. They're kind of secondary bosses, and there's several of them. But they are gigantic decaying birds that apparently have encrusted corpses in their body, which I had not noticed, and now we'll have to take a closer look. They are partially covered in ghost flame and guarded by the spirits of the servants of death inside their wings. They were called graveyard firekeepers, fire keepers. So there's some kind of connection between Elden Ring and Dark Souls 3 after all. And their purpose was to tend the ghost flame by raking the ashen remains of the death of their kiln, whatever that means. They used to be much more active before the Erd Tree existed, and now they're seen as malevolent entities by some. Priests of old were permitted to come among the Deathbirds and act as their guardians, and that would be, the exchange would be they'd be resurrected in the distant future. So that was their reward, I guess. And I guess some priests can be seen inside their wings wielding death ritual spears. Again, I'm gonna have to check that out. That actually kind of sounds cool. I'm very familiar with the Deathrite birds because I created a character in Elden Ring by the name of Freya, Norse goddess of death. So I wanted her to be proficient in the Ghost Flame, so I went around and collected all the Ghost Flame spells and weapons and such, and I did enjoy her as a character. And fun side note, when the DLC Shadow of the Erd Tree came out, she was the only one of the characters that I had that was close enough to get into the DLC without having to do anything extra. So I went through the DLC playing as her, and even though I loved her, she was not my strongest character. So I think it made the DLC all the more challenging. But yeah, just a fun little side note. But yeah, the Deathrite birds are no joke, and they have powerful spells and are fast and powerful and a pain in the ass. And there's several of them in the world, and you have to beat them in order to get those spells. There's no other way to get them. So yeah, they're certainly an interesting addition to the SoulsBorne universe. Deathbirds are a tough fight in Elden Ring, and they can hit pretty hard. They can attack from long distance. They can hit you pretty quickly. I mean, everything that can make a fight difficult is present with the Deathbird. Against many bosses in SoulsBorne Battle to the Death, I would be willing to give Deathbird the edge and probably an easy victory. But not this fight. Not this fight. The Deathbird does not stand much of a chance against Lich Dragon Fortisax, and I cannot, in good conscience, try to pretend like it would be any different. I cannot pretend like the Deathbird would give Lich Dragon Fortisax any kind of a headache, although, I mean, it may be irritating for a little bit for Fortisax, but not for very long, because Fortisax could probably just basically wipe the Deathbird off the map. So yeah, that is pretty much my verdict, and you know, it's pretty straightforward, and I don't think too many people will disagree. I'm pretty sure everyone will agree that Lich Dragon Fortisax will take the victory in this fight and be home in time for dinner. But that is just my opinion. Feel free to leave yours in the comments. And with that, yet another edition of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death draws to a close. RobertBledgerbooks.com. If you're interested in the award-winning War of a Dragon series, you can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free. If you'd like to hear more about them, the Rise of Dragons podcast, wherever you find your favorite podcasts. My Linktree, my Instagram, my Twitter, all Bobby's World 2110. Mondays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Dark Souls Remastered No Estus run that is going on right now. This past episode, I make another foray into New Londo Ruins, and it does not go well. So I have to turn my attention somewhere else. And I have a rant of a lifetime on that stream when I fail to make it through or make it too far into New Londo Ruins. So you may want to tune in for that. So I have to turn my attention to the catacombs. So you can pretty much imagine how that's going to go. And I am once again in a pissy mood. So if you enjoy Pissy Bobby, you may want to check that out and see how that goes. All my ranting and raving. So that is there for you to check out. Back in the archives, I have the Elden Ring, no Crimson Flask run. I have the Sekiro, no Healing Gourd run. I have the Dark Souls 3, no Estus run, and the Dark Souls 3, no Level Up run. And something just fell over. And a whole bunch of other stuff. Plenty of Hunger Games, Bobby's World Hunger Games for you to check out. And the Your Father's Story videos are up. 4 of them for you to check out. And this should be a new one pretty soon. Actually, I should probably do a Hunger Games first. I think a Hunger Games first, and then we'll do a Your Father's Story. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. And Wednesdays, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is what you're watching right now. SoulsBorne Battle to the Death. So I shouldn't really have to explain what and how that is because you just watched it. So yeah, all kinds of fun stuff on the channel. I have to thank all of you and send you all a whole bunch of love. I did so on this past episode of Dark Souls Remastered, no Estus run, because I don't generally check out the analytics of my channel a whole lot. I do check out the analytics of each video. Every single video I keep pretty close tabs on the analytics, but I don't check out the analytics of the overall channel a lot because I have the Jacksepticeye compilations on there, and it kind of skews everything, and that's the plus and the minus of it. The plus of it is you know, I made those videos because I love Jack and thought he deserved those videos were never monetized, so it was never about making money. It was just about you know, paying tribute to Jack, but it brought a lot of attention to the channel, but it's not an accurate representation of views and, you know, watch time and all that stuff, because, you know, a lot of people watch the Jacksepticeye compilations and not always everything else on my channel. So but there's been a lot of growth on the channel I've talked about recently, and I checked out the channel analytics, the overall channel analytics, and for the first time that I can remember seeing, one of the Dark Souls remastered videos, and can't remember which one it was off the top of my head right now, and one of the SoulsBorne Battle to the Death videos had cracked the top 3 videos on my channel. So that was very, very cool to see. It means, and you know, the analytics were for the last 28 days, so it was for, you know, the highest number of views in the last 28 days. So it was cool to see that some of my more modern videos are breaking through into my top videos on the channel. So it's a sign that I'm heading in the right direction, and I have you guys to thank for that, because if you guys weren't watching, that would not be happening. So that means a lot to me. You really have no idea. Some of you know, if you've been watching all my videos, I've been working my ass off lately at work and at home, and there's been a lot going on, and there's been a lot of stress, and a lot of things that, you know, I talk about a lot of things on my videos, mostly the Dark Souls videos. I talk a lot about life and things that are going on, but there are some things that I can't, you know, fully talk about, that's kind of eating away at my soul. And yeah, it's been a tough 2 years, really, and I'm rambling a little bit here, but really what I'm getting at is that, you know, this means a lot to me, and you guys watching has been, you know, such a amazing thing, and watching the growth of the channel, and like I said, seeing some of my recent videos breaking through into the top videos of my channel has been so amazing. And unfortunately, I really have no other way to thank you guys for that except to continue making content, which I fully intended to do anyway, so, you know, it didn't really matter. But yeah, that's all I really got to say about that is thank you so much. It just means the world to me. And, you know, I've always said that, you know, making content, you know, my writing, the podcast, and making videos, you know, when people watch and they, you know, they comment, or they, you know, tell me about it, or they read my books, or it's one of the most rewarding things in the whole world. And that just means so much. I'm just saying the same things over and over again, but it's tough for me right now as I'm recording this. Today I got bad news about a friend of mine. It's not about me and not about, my family or anything, but it's about a close friend of mine. And my brain is a little bit of mush right now with everything going on, but I'm trying to, express to you guys that, it's good to see that my hard work is being rewarded. And, money has never meant that much to me. It just doesn't. Except that we all need it to live. But, seeing the views and the watch time increase, like the audience retention has also increased for a lot of videos, and that's been amazing too. Sometimes it's up to like 14 minutes in some videos, which is just unbelievable. But that means a lot, and it doesn't happen without you guys, and that's all I really got to say. So I'm going to keep pushing through. I'm going to keep dealing with life. I'm going to keep pushing out content. I'm going to keep going to work and doing the best I can there, and then coming home and, keep pushing out content for you guys. Try to be the best father and boyfriend that I can be, as I do every day. At least I try to. I don't always succeed. I have bad days. As someone who suffers from depression and anxiety and PTSD and all that shit, it's hard. But, thankfully, I have amazing family and friends that support that. And, some of them suffer from the same thing. So it's good to have that understanding, and, just makes it easier to get through life. But I really, really went on a foray there at the end that I didn't mean to go on to, but I really had to tell you guys how much that all meant to me. So that's really all I gotta say about that. So leave a like, subscribe, notifications, and all that nonsense. I'm going to be back with you here next week for another edition of SoulsBorne Battle to the Death, and this coming Monday will be another edition of Dark Souls Remastered No Estus Run. So that's it. I hope everyone has an amazing week. Be well, stay safe, and as always, it's Bobby's World, and you're all just living in it. See y'all, see you alive, y'all. Bye.
Hey, boss.
Yes, Courtney.
Mrs. Anderson called. She wanted to order several copies of your books for family and friends.
Oh, that's amazing. Get some ordered, have them sent over to me, and I will sign them for her. I really appreciate it if you could do that for me.
I didn't know you were an author.
You did. Courtney, you've been with me for like 2 years now, and we've talked about it fairly constantly, and there's an ad at the end of every one of these videos.
Well, that doesn't mean that I listen to everything you tell me. Are the books any good?
Well, ReadersFavorite.com said that its intensity rivals that of the Game of Thrones series. I know, that's pretty crazy, but that's exactly what it says. It's on the Cry of a Raven review. Go check it out.
Well, that's pretty cool. What are the books about?
It's about a soldier who gets exiled for saving a baby dragon, and later he's killed, and he wakes up 3,000 years later with strange powers, and he's watched over by the very same dragon, and the world has been overrun by evil, and he now must travel back in time to stop the evil that started in his own home country.
Wow, that sounds interesting. How can I get copies of the books?
Well, you can go to robertblanchardbooks.com and order your copies there. You can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free. And if you want to hear more about them, you can listen to the Rise of Dragons podcast.
You have a podcast too?
You know what, Courtney? You are doing such an amazing job that I think you are due for a raise. How does that sound?
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Thank you, boss.
You bet. Too bad the raise is going to be when I raise a water balloon over her head and just... Maybe I'll wait until her mom calls. I think she'll find that pretty funny. Go to robertblanchardbooks.com right now and get your copies of the series that got 3 5-star reviews from readersfavorite.com, 3 Author Shout Recommended Reads Awards, and 2 Literary Titan Silver Awards. You can read the first 3 chapters of each book there for free, read more reviews, short stories, and much more. And if you want to hear more about them, you can listen to the Rise of Dragons podcast wherever you find your favorite podcasts.